Hey guys, welcome to another session of RBTL. So exciting news. So I think the patch news, it was kind of a letdown to a lot of people because there wasn't much. But now, I think on the release of their first anniversary, they're giving us, I guess, more like a Q&A dev note type thing. This is an incredible update. It changes so much of what we talked about in the past year in terms of, let's say, like YouTube, like content creators and creators who create guides on like gear to keep, what to do in like certain like labyrinths and raids and whatnot. This whole update list changes like the forecast of like so many things, changes so many things on the horizon, which is incredible. I'm gonna try to give up like a sum up of my thoughts on each of the questions that were asked and each of the answers that were given. Of course, my personal opinion here. So one thing that they're doing, the first one is the random nature of the equipment. So they are gonna make it where it's possible to now craft, in the alchemist steeple, craft like it's, let's say if you have a lot of like salty critical hit sets or speed sets, the example that they used here, if you craft them as the crafting materials, it can pump out another like a better like whatever gear in a speed set or a crit set. If you use just like, let's say, a hit set, it will pump out a hit set. So I suppose the like if it's RNG, so if you put like attack set, destruction set and stuff like that in there, you're gonna get like a random part of it. So I think most people, when they're gonna use this, they're gonna focus on one set, and then they're just gonna pump out, let's say if you're going for just speed sets, you're just gonna feed speed set gear as the material to get speed set. So another thing is that they remove the flat stats, I think, according to just the crafting and the alchemist steeple. So boots will now only have the percentage base, except the speed, of course, that's always flat, but still, that's good. Everything else, as you can see here. So that's pretty crazy. The other thing is that the flat stats now are gonna be like actually decent. So they're talking about almost doubling. So the higher the grade, the better the flat stat. But if your enhancements land on the flat stat, they're gonna at least double the stat. Of course, the higher the grade, the better the enhancement. Now this can be really useful, especially if your heroes have low base stats. So low base stats means that if you're scaling percentage wise, you're not gonna see as big of a difference. So maybe in like a case of like, let's say like Montmorency versus like Angelica, when you're gearing them, because Angelica has higher base HP, maybe you want more, percentage based HP stats, whereas Montmorency, it might benefit from having flat health stats. It depends. So a lot of the gear that you have right now at the point of this recording, if it has, let's say, a flat main stat, and let's say it's health, so basically health, defense, and attack here, these being affected can really open up a lot of the variables. Let's say if you have like flat health necklace, but it's epic grade, and you have like a really good speed roll on it. Let's say like it's a 4 speed, an 85 T85 epic necklace. You have 4 speed on it. You can now roll those things with a slight high possibility of really high speed, so really good return. So stuff like that becomes in the thought process as we're going forward here. So one thing that is missing, I would say this right off the bat, is that there's no talk about increasing the equipment slots. Now, with all these awesome upgrades, all these awesome features and improvements, I feel that the equipment slots are now going to be even more necessary. Yeah, we got to do a lot of box cleaning, at least for the most of us who are too hoardy in our gear. You can see here, they already have a proposed stat increase with the main stat. Apparently all the flat stats, whether main or substat, will be also increased once they make the update. So if you already have that kind of gear, keep that and see how that changes. So defense is 2.5, health is times 2, attack is 1.67, which a lot of heroes can use flat attack, to be honest. A lot of heroes can use flat attack, but I would say that, especially on the right side gear, other than the substats being flat attack, I think on the right side gear, still percentage-based attack is still probably the best, for most DPS at least. Flat stats in both main stat area and substat area will benefit from this increase. Yeah, so that's really good. That changed already. That got me really pumped. And then do you plan to make yeah, the hunt rewards, they're talking about this, and I'm going to talk about it in a bit later. They're going to remove the energy and the powder of knowledge. Now, after farming for a really long time, I will say the powder of knowledge is probably the weakest one. The energy, someone told me a long time ago, the energy is kind of nice because you usually get about like on an average of 10 energy. Yeah, sometimes you get 11, sometimes you get 9 or whatever, but average you get 10. So someone told me this before that, hey, it's not bad getting energy because it's pretty much you get gold and crafting materials for half the energy spent. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense. So removing the energy now is interesting, and then removing the powder of knowledge, I would say powder of knowledge was probably the weakest out of all the drops, because you usually only get 1 or 2. And everyone knows that powder of knowledge is very, you use them really quick. You use them quicker than you would use energy, I think, but if you were going to use them. But it's whatever, you know, they're going to make this change, but also they're going to increase the Skystone, Mystic Metals, and the equipment, which is great. The pet system we're going to get to, but they're saying that the pet system will allow you to also get more, like a higher rate in the crafting material. So it might look like something like the, like maybe you get an additional like 2 or 3 like crafting material after each hunt, which is great. And we'll talk about the pet system when we get to that part. Malagor improvements, big thing coming. They were saying that this is going to already come. 3-star heroes will no longer need Malagora, but instead of using Malagor and Catalyst, it's going to use Stigma and Catalyst. And I was, my mouth, like my jaw just dropped when I saw this. I'm like, one, you can now like with almost like no effort start investing in a lot of 3-star heroes. Like let's say like Judith as a CR booster, Ruzit as a CR booster. They're going to be way more like used now, because you can really cheaply get them to like a really good and really usable like CR push level. Falcon Recluri is going to come back, I think. Commander Lorena, already used for a lot of hell raids and just raids for the higher morale teams, is going to be great because I invested so many Malagora in her when I first started the game, before Luna and other single target damage dealers like came into the meta. So this is going to be fantastic, and you get the Malagora back. And you get another 20% Malagora back return for the 4-star and 5-star heroes. So it's going to be incredible. Like when this change comes, it's going to be great. Yeah, the only thing that I was saying that the only thing that people have to do to actually build up 3-star heroes now is to get them to a 6-star or like 6-star awakened if they need those like stats. But, you know, I mean, the game is already getting very easy. So, like, grinding for 6 stars should not be a problem anymore, honestly. But I'm just thinking about, like, all these 3-star heroes. Like, their kits are so good to have that you don't even need to make them into a 6-star or even a 5-star. Heck, not even a 5-star. A lot of times, like, having these heroes, like max molded can be very beneficial. Even if they're not max leveled, you know? So, I mean, sorry, yeah, max awakened, max promotion. Areas will be exchanged. Yeah, so the Malagora changes here. So I think they're removing it from the shop because I guess people don't really access that now. They just go through the skill change and they just do it on the fly, which is already in the game, so that's cool. Sources to increase energy and gold. They talked about this in with those weekly web events. Talking about more of the occasional buffs. Nothing more than what we're already getting, except the web event. The web event might get more energy and gold, so that's kind of cool. This is like the free equip event. It says for every 4th week, but does this mean it's an additional free equip event? Because I think originally they were saying that the free equip event was every 3rd week. So I don't know if this is a spelling error or are we now getting it for every 3rd and 4th week. I'm not 100% sure about that. And the occasional buff events, which we're getting now a lot more, which is great. It's great. any plans for a ceiling, so a cap, so a pity summon pretty much for Moonlight summons directly. Basically, their sum up on this whole paragraph here is that they're not 100% sure they're gonna do it yet. They kind of reminded us all the improvement changes, which I've covered in previous videos, so I'm not gonna get into that too much. But at this moment, it seems that they're gonna be under observation. I do feel that they don't really need to have a pity summon anymore on the Moonlight. You can get Moonlights from the daily, even though yes, it's a low percent, but I've seen it. Like people on the Discord is like posted on my like Discord polls channel, and they're just like, oh, I got this like ML ball on my daily summon like just before the nerf, so now they can trade for any ML hero. So I mean, they've already kind of opened up like a lot of space for us. So I think if we're still like, yo man, there's no pity on the Moonlight summons, I think that's just uncalled for. But they said that they're going to keep it under observation, and they're already increasing daily check-in rewards, which I have to say is incredibly crazy. If you guys have not seen this yet and you're following me on this video, wait for the big surprise, man. It's crazy. Limited hero returns. Now this is a question. Okay, so all this says is that they're preparing for another limited summon banner, but here they don't really answer the question. Now I think it's a possibility that limited heroes can return because they actually chose to answer the question. Because if I'm sure there's more questions than the one stated here, but I'm pretty sure all the ones that they answered are either high priority, they need they need answers right now, like the community, or they're already working on something, you know? So they're teasing us with the excuse of answering the question with a cool answer, you know? So for them to answer this question, I think it's possible that it's coming. Well, I would say that the answer they gave, it doesn't really answer the question. But anyways, that's just my thinking here. How will future hero balance updates be proceeded? Right, yeah, we talked about this. They talked about the constellation and stuff like that. Here, they make a note to Apocalypse, Robbie, and Specimen Says. Now, it is interesting how word gets around to them, like, really quick. Because, I mean, in all our small pods and, like, Discord communities and whatnot, and even, of course, on the official Discord, these two ML heroes seem to be one of the most complained about right now. They are saying that the Specimen Says has, you know, under certain conditions can deal great damage. Of course, we all know that. And he's saying that he might be really good in real-time arena. Now, we'll have to see about that. Because apparently you can ban a hero from another, like, yeah, anyways, I'll get into that in a bit. But anyway, Specimen Says and Apocalypse Robbie, they're not really looking into because she was just released. So I think it takes a bit more time for those who think that Apocalypse Robbie needs a balance, needs like a readjustment, needs a buff or whatever. Yeah, we just need to be a bit more patient on that. Although I will have to say that after a couple weeks with Apocalypse Robbie, I have seen some builds and some teams with a Robbie that is still pretty decent. And we're talking about like Ambition and other top guilds starting to use Apocalypse Robbie in the defense team. I used her on a defense team on a pretty decent guild war as a test, and I feel that she can still work. Now, if you're talking about innate kit, I think singly she's not that great, but she can force some other team comps where other heroes can be more threatening. Anyways, that's my thoughts. It's not an Apocalypse Robbie review, but that's just my thoughts. Pet system. This is great. 3 types of pets. And we're going to get into this here. So 3 types of pets that they're thinking of. One's a lobby type, battle type, and then one's a hunt or story type, battle type, and then a lobby type. Lobby type acquires like gifts every 4 hours. So you can see that on the image there. So you can get awesome like random stones. Now they put an epic grade random stone. I don't know if that means that it will always be a 5% of an epic grade stone coming back, or does that mean that, you know, there could be like normal ones, there could be the rare ones, there could be like the middle ones, and then there could be like the epic ones. So like, is this like the best case scenario? Like, I'm not quite sure. Does that mean the minimum or the maximum? That's my point. The battle type, this is good too. So right now we had the people talking about like, yeah, when are you having like automated systems implemented? This will definitely set a lot of people, you know, you don't have to monitor your game as much, babysit it. This is great. Restart in case of defeat. I think you got everything in here for every single other type of like mobile game or any game like this that has some kind of like automated run. I mean, this has all the features. What I do like about this is that they're tying this to this little pet system, which is cool. So instead of just like giving you a feature with like a pop-up window saying like, oh, how much do you want to repeat, you know, what's the source of your resource for repeating, etc., they're tying it to a pet system, which is really nice because I think if you're running this in the background, you see a little pet running beside you or whatever, graphically it's just more pleasing. So I kind of like how they kind of put a little twist on a feature that already exists in other games, but, you know, have their own flavor to it. So this is great. Pets, the more you use them, the more favorability. So this is kind of, I guess, like the friendship or the friend levels that you get with the heroes, but they get increased skills with this. When I look at this, and I'm looking at the S, A, and B, because of the current system of the imprint system with the S, A, and B class of the imprint, with the same icon or whatnot, it almost makes me think that the S, A, and B on the bottom here are not really linked to the favorability. While it's not really clear that the favorability is driving the S, A, or B, I almost feel like it's imprinting the pet itself. As you can see on the right, if this screenshot is representing something similar to what we're going to get during the pet release, it looks like you're going to have possibly multiples of the same one. I'm not 100% sure though. Yeah, you can see like 2 Snow Whites there. So does this mean like we have to like, you know, imprint them to get this? I don't know. It doesn't really matter at the end. Like it depends on how we get the pets. But yeah, it's just interesting to think about. And then the next part, Hell Raid is going to be expanded soon with this preview on gear. So from what I read and how it works is now the reset is going to be monthly instead of weekly. So right now our Hell Raid, I'm going to only talk about Hell Raid because it's probably the most important part, I think. Especially for like end game players, you're chasing those gears because those give you the best stats. Hell Raid right now resets every week. All right, so at the end of every week on the reset, so on the Monday, at least in my time, on the Monday on the reset, you can do your 2 Hell Raid runs. But because all 5 bosses are gonna be implemented, and I'm assuming all of the 3 other ones, so Jewel Leave, Council, Secretary Vera, and then Queen, of course, I think they're going to be released at the same time based on this, because it seems like it's going to be one change. So the reset of the boss is going to come once a month. While once you kill a boss, you can only kill 1 boss per entry. So once you kill a boss, all the other bosses hide. They're also going to give you a shortcut though, straight to the boss, which is interesting. So the portal straight to the boss. So this pretty much, I think the only way you would do this is only if you have a difficulty of killing all the elite bosses or you know, all the ads on the way to the boss and you need to collect souls. But yeah, having the portal there makes it kind of easy to get to the boss. And then someone on stream, and I'll give you a shout out, Protein Bar said that but you don't get the souls, so it could make the fight more difficult as well. So there are pros and cons to be able to teleport right to the boss, but I think, you know, regardless, this is great stuff. What you're seeing here on screen, the gear that is here, apparently it's the clear reward. So you get this one time only. The substats are locked, the main stats are locked, and the sets are locked. All of these pieces are great. If you have completed the Hell Raid, like Arakan, and the Executioner, so Devourer and Executioner, if you have already completed them before, if you complete them again, they will give you this clear reward upon this update though. So that's fantastic. All this gear is great. T88, hopefully it doesn't roll salty for anyone here, because there's always one troll substat like hidden there, or not as desired as the other 3. But you can decipher that yourself here, analyze that yourself. Let's see what else. Okay, so the coronation souvenirs and the queen guard badges also. So these are the currency you get after killing the boss to be able to trade with the logistics officer. So that's where you get your, you know, again talking hell raid, but this does apply to regular raid as well because it's both coronation souvenirs and queen guard badges. So the trade, the shop, pretty much the shop for the raids. So you could get them quicker. You can get them quicker now. Increase will be increased to 2. So instead of 1, it increases to 2. So you're doubling it really. So it's gonna be great. Continue on. Let's see here. Yeah, this is the part where it says the shortcut teleport. You can teleport to the boss right after. So on Hell Raid though, if you kill the boss, just note that you will, you know, you spend 3 morale teleporting, assuming it's still 3 morale teleporting to the boss. But then, you know, you either go back and clear. So I would say like only use the portal rather if you want the most HP boss fight, like most HP on your team, because the morale doesn't drop as much. But you can also do it with no souls. Or if you're like running out of time and you don't have like, let's say like 30 minutes or 40 minutes to grind all the way to the boss, depending how you grind it. If you're going higher morale team, it could take you as long as 40 minutes to an hour. I think that's what I did last night. It took me 40 minutes to an hour for all elite boss and a boss clear. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Morale improvement camping system. This is kind of cool. They're gonna change it so that you don't actually lose morale now. That's great. So I think there's gonna be a bit of a shift. All the morale calculators we're gonna have to wait for some updates on the numbers, because if they're gonna remove the decreased possibility of morale, but only have increase. Now, of course, there's gonna be a range of increase like what we have now. Some will increase more, some will increase less. We're gonna have to wait a bit to see, you know, how the morale teams are changed, because, you know, if you know, yeah, there could be possibly like different teams now you can bring even with your current roster with the changes coming. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. They made some graphical changes now too, where it just shows you which path is actually better. So while it's a nice addition that they have on this, I do recommend all players who are watching this video or listening to this, if you're new, there are things called morale calculators. You can get it on various Discord servers who have Ufiend bots. You can get them on multiple websites and whatnot. Even spreadsheets, people make them. But you calculate the morale of your team, and you just know, you know, what conversation selections you're supposed to take with the specific heroes already. So while this is a nice graphical change, it's not necessary, because I think most people will still be running morale calculators. Oh, and after running a couple times, they would just memorize the exact lines that the hero has to use anyway. What's cool is that they are gonna add like little features like this. Is really what makes Epic 7 a great game. Voice lines to now the camping scenes. So once you get to a friendship level 9, you'll be able to, you know, go into the camping scenes and you can hear them. But when you're camping and you click it, you'll also be able to hear their voice. That's incredible. Labyrinth is going to be expanded. Nixie's Sanctum, so far stuck at Zone 3. Some people on stream were telling me that, yeah, Zone 5, like there were actually achievements to get that, and I never noticed that. I thought it was finished, but yeah, they are expanding it. So some people are guessing that the lady in the image here is Nixie herself. So that's kind of cool. Really cool design, and interesting that they are expanding this. So I'm assuming that if they're expanding it this late, it might be a bit more difficult. I'm assuming maybe up to normal raid level difficulty. I'm not quite sure. Now this is the cherry on top of the sundae. This is the cherry on top, man. This is incredible. New check-in rewards. Now they are saying this. I have to note this so we don't get overhyped here. Please note the image above is still in development. May differ upon release. Okay, it may differ upon release, but what they're proposing right here is just insanely good. The bookmarks, yeah, the leaf, the gold, the charms, okay, that's all good. But now every month, you can see on the second row on the most right, that is a 5-star artifact. no, 4 to 5-star artifact. 4 to 5-star artifact summon tickets, right? So that's not a 5. Yeah, 4 to 5-star summon artifact ticket, and 4 to 5-star hero on the third week. And then a guaranteed moonlight summon at the end. So usually right now we have 4 weeks of gold transmit stones. So that's not even one moonlight summon. While that's still really good, they just giving you one directly now at the end of every month. So everyone now will have this really fun time of the end of the month. It's just like, who do I get? Who do I get? Oh, is it 6 transmit? Oh yeah, it is 6 transmit. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, my bad. It is 6 transmit. So it is the same technically then. It's technically the same then. E7 camera, you can link it, but you can't link it here. It'll probably block you. Link it into Discord if you want to share it with the, or whisper to me. I'll link it. Is there any plans? Yeah, okay. So real-time arena is coming. We knew this was coming, but we got screenshots, so we now know like what it sort of looks like. Now you can. It seems that to step 1 you select your hero. Step 2, so it should be like this. So step 1, everyone selects their heroes. You can select 5 heroes, but it's gonna be a 4v4. Step 2, you get to see your opponent's hero, and you can't go back from this step. You ban the heroes. On your opponent, and then step 3, I'm assuming you enter the battle. It's gonna be great. People are just nitpicking here that there's this Soul Weaver ML Araminta on the top right, and there's a Fire Vildred in the list on the right side. So far left for ML Araminta, and then far right Fire Vildred. But what's really cool though is that we see a little face there on the bottom. Looks like Mercedes, but it looks like it's a Moonlight, and that's not any art that we've seen so far. That's not the regular Mercedes. That's not Celestial Mercedes. So this is gonna be a new one. I don't know. Originally they accidentally leaked Luluka in like a very long ago, like previous, like I think it was like arena rank or something. They had like this weird character. Everybody's like, whoa, who's this new character? Turned out to be Luluka. So is Mercedes getting an upgrade? Time to, Moonlight Mercedes, but not Celestial Mercedes. I guess you gotta keep more Mercedes imprints just in case. Anyways, any collaboration coming? They said that yeah, they're looking into it, but at this point they can't tell us right now. Plans to improve the utility of duplicate heroes. Yeah, we talked about this before. Memory imprint system change. They're proposing something new. So whether or not they're looking at a system where tokens will be receiving with duplicate heroes and in exchange for hero selector, but they want to see how the imprint system works first. That's exciting that they're even thinking about this. So a lot of the times, I would say like 80% of the times when Smoggy says that they're thinking about something, it actually happened. Even if it seemingly costs them from a business standpoint money, they actually do it. So I'm not gonna say like they're going to do it, but the fact that like they don't even need to bring this up, but the fact that they brought this up means that it's already in the like a kind of in the works. But I think that they do want to keep it under observation. I also don't want the game to be too easy. I mentioned this before I started the recording. If the game is too easy, there's gonna be a lack of a desire to really play it. Every game needs the carrot on the stick. But it's the distance of the carrot that either keeps players playing or pushes them away. If it's too far, it will push them away, except unless you're really hardcore. If it's too close, it will push players away. So with all these changes, although like I'm smiling, this is like Christmas morning to me, I feel like a lot of the changes they're making are so good that I fear the carrot is now too close. But anyways, every player will differ a bit, and I think it depends on your current experience. Because if you have a really hard time with the game, all these changes, you're just gonna love the carrot on the stick. You're just gonna love the carrot closer. So I don't know. I'm probably hungry. That's why I'm talking about carrots. I haven't ate breakfast yet. Do you plan to sell name change ticket? So yeah, this is people talking about other games having a possible name changing if you pay for it, but they're saying that they want to prevent this from account resellers. There are a lot of players in the in the community who have names like, you know, like RX45, like, you know, GH, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. If you're in any form of GVG or arena, you know you fight those players with like this randomized name, whether or not they re-rolled it themselves or those are from account sellers. It's possibly account sellers, by the way. Those names probably come from those. But anyways, not to say that, you know, if you were just lazy coming up with a name and that it really is your name and you never went through account seller, good for you. But, you know, too bad it's not unique, I guess. That's me? What? You guys? That's your in-game names? Alright, never mind. Are there any plans to separate artifacts from summons? Yeah, I actually, you know, I've been asked about this before myself on stream. Say, hey, Dragon, what do you think about heroes and artifacts being separate from each other? When I first started the game, I felt that, what the heck, man? Why am I getting artifacts? I want heroes. But now that I think about it, with the systems all being very, very generous, I feel that to separate them is kind of almost a crime. Because then you really get artifacts way too easy. I would say that if you were like a mid-game to a late-game player, you actually would like pull the hero from the pity, but you would just spam everything else into the artifacts almost. I would almost say that's the case. Unless you're like free-to-play and you're really scrapped for Covenant bookmarks. But for me, like if I was doing this, I would get the hero I want from the current banner or whatever and just start spamming artifacts. Artifacts are a huge game changer in this game. They really make you from your hero, like from a 0 to hero. Like it really makes that much difference. Some heroes are almost not usable without a certain artifact. One comes to mind, like let's say Charles, for example. Without Alber's Ritual Sword, I would even recommend you just don't even build him. Like let alone, let's say you don't build him on a counter set or whatever. You build him on like a speed set or whatever. That's all fine. But if he doesn't have Alberus, I'm like, okay, yeah, he's an Aureus holder. Like what is he gonna be, right? So yeah, I would say right now they're saying that it's very difficult to put them into different summoning areas. I think it's a good idea that they don't do it, and I think it should be kept that way. And yes, I know if you're early game, you'll go through the same thing I went through. I understand your feeling. I get it. But now with the pity summon on every single hero, literally, I don't think there's any excuse to separate them anymore. I really don't think so. But again, it's only if you have, I guess, unlimited resources in a sense. If you have a limited, I understand you want the hero first, right? I guess. Will there be future skip cutscenes? Yeah, that one we don't need to talk about. They're not going to do it. In my opinion, they don't need to do it. The cutscenes are so short. They're beautifully animated. You should watch them. Why are you skipping them? Quality of life improvement change. So they're gonna change. They're gonna allow team name changes. Awesome stuff. I wanted this because it's really hard. You always, you know, even though I know and I play this game so much, I'm always like, okay, what's my, you know, hell raid team? Like, is it 6? Is it 5? Is it 6? Is it 5? And then you're swapping heroes on each team as well to do different things, and then you're kind of like, I don't remember, whatever. And then you just end up using whatever team and you're swapping heroes manually anyway. So it's kind of good that they have this name. Although I would say that even after naming it, it's not going to be locked. I'm still going to be, let's say if I have a Hell Raid team, I'm still going to be like changing stuff for certain Hell Raid bosses. And I have like 4 like arena teams, but I don't even really use them. So, you know, the name change is nice, but yeah, I'm just saying that I won't really benefit from it myself because of my habit. But it probably takes some time to get used to. Anyways, that's it. I mean, that's all the updates, and that's all my thoughts on it. And seriously, man, I said this in the previous RBTL on their anniversary release news that, you know, they're doing a great job. So, you know, they're most likely not watch this video. But yeah, if you guys are watching this video, like, congrats to like Epic 7, all the developers, like, hard work. And you know, talking, communicate with the community. You guys are one of a kind. Honestly, you guys are one of a kind. I don't see this happening in a lot of games. Taking feedback so seriously, and then upon fixing the feedback, you make new graphics, new UI, and improve current features, and you're always monitoring things. This is incredible. Your promise of, you know, saying to the communities, to the heirs, as you so call it, you want to keep us playing Epic 7 and enjoy it. You guys are really doing a good job. You guys are doing a good job. So anyways, I'm going to end this here. If you guys, yeah, imagine having 699 Malagora go. Yeah, it feels good, man. I would love that. I would love that. Uh, Anyways, I'm gonna end this here. If you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next Reading Between the Lines.